And another season of the NBA on ESPN is underway.
Let's go!
Curry for the record.
We have a liftoff.
Leonard.
Hello, we are live from Barclays Center for another battle of New York. It is Knicks versus Nets. Julius Randle is in the building, got the sunglasses on. He's going to be taking on Kevin Durant, and you can always feel the energy. There is RJ Barrett, Dior sweater.
Good sweater, great cardigan.
Oh, look at the diamonds on that chain. Seth Curry keeping it comfy and cozy. And look, the Nets are looking to end their 4-game losing streak at home with a win against the Knicks and KD. And we're going to get you set for the next 30 minutes live on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, and on the ESPN app. And I am making my Hoop Streams debut.
Yeah, Megan.
Stay alongside these vets, though, Jacoby and Nick Friedell, and we're going to get you all so excited to see what's happening right here on this floor. Jacoby got an interview with Andre Drummond, and he asked the important questions. Does Andre Drummond have Timberlands?
Well, we'll find out later. We'll find out later.
Okay, we'll find out. It's going to be a jam-packed show, and we're really, really excited to be here. And since we are in Brooklyn, let's start with the Nets, okay? Because Brooklyn, they got a couple days of rest, and they just took on the Philadelphia 76ers on Thursday, which was a battle. When you look at that game against the 76ers, what stands out to you, and was that their biggest win of the season?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I'm still reeling from it. Like, it didn't feel like a playoff game. It felt like the Super Bowl. Like, it felt like the only game that mattered. We had all had it circled on our calendar since the trade happened, and I never saw it going the way it did. The defense that Kyrie Irving played, the performance that Kevin Durant put on, the lack of a performance that James Harden put on, I'm still baffled by it, Nick.
The best game the Nets have played all season. Easy. They knew they wanted to send a message, guys, not only to Harden because they felt like he quit on their team. It was also to Ben Simmons saying, you can't be out there with us right now, but we've got your back. We've got your back tonight in Philly, and we've got your back moving forward. So it, for that group, after all they've been through, was a very unifying performance in game, and it's something that if everything turns now, and you get Kevin playing the way he's playing, and the Nets still hope that the vax mandate will get rolled back here in the city and Simmons will come back here in the next couple weeks. You will look back on that Sixers game and go, that's when it all changed.
That was the moment, right? And you watched that game and said, Kyrie's defense. We talk a lot about his offense, but defense, what he did against James Harden was absolutely phenomenal.
And you could tell from the very first possession. And I've watched him play in the finals time and time again. I've never seen him committed to defense like this. It felt personal, and it felt big, and it was emotional. And, like, as a viewer sitting down on my couch watching the TV, I could not believe what I was witnessing. And I'm going to say, Nick hinted at this, like, I kind of feel like there might be a carryover. Like, even just being in this arena right now, like, it's kind of vibey. Like, fans got here early. Like, there's a little energy here that there wasn't earlier in the season.
That room, Megan, they know how good they can still be. And people have kind of written off the Nets a little bit, like, I'm sick of hearing this stuff. It's a soap opera.
They went 3-17, to be fair. Yeah. Like, we're talking about them like they're like championship contenders.
Why. You understand why, but they know how good they are. And Jacoby's point is spot on because it was personal. They wanted to show Harden, you left us, and you thought you could win a title here, but you wanted out. This team is still good enough to do it. Now, are they going to be able to prove it in time this year? Only time will tell. But they still believe inside that room that their time is coming and they can catch a rhythm going into the playoffs.
Oh, and Megan, imagine a 7-game series between the Sixers and the Nets.
Yes.
Imagine what that would be. I mean, that was a regular season game in March. Imagine a 7-game series between those two. And if you look at the standings, it's very likely.
Yeah, it could be wild, but don't get ahead of yourself because we're going to get to that in just a little bit because you talk about the 7-game series and how personal it was. Kyrie Irving said at the end of that game, and KD said, we did it for Ben. You know, Ben walked in there looking flashy, had the Louis Vuitton version wool, Louis Vuitton football-style T-shirt, had the diamonds dripping, the Louis Vuitton bag, and they did that for him. Yes, Philly fans booed him, and he got heckled, but he looked good while he was doing it. And when we found out last week that Dana Green said Ben Simmons changed his phone number, didn't return any phone calls, would you guys say that was maybe doing too much, or that's a boss move?
I've never changed my phone number, you know? It's just like you can just ghost people nowadays. I think that's odd. I think that is doing too much. I mean, I understand we all saw what happened at the end of the season last year, and people always focus on like the layup that he gave up or the fourth quarter performances, but to me it was really the press conferences. Nick, you were there, I imagine, when it's the Doc Rivers comments about playing a point guard, maybe you can win a championship, and Joel Embiid specifically mentioning him. To me, it was the words that were said, not what happened on the court, which really hurt him the way it did, which led to him changing his phone number.
100%. And this was a breakup that had to happen. Everybody's been through when you go through that breakup and then you don't want to see him, and then there you know you're going to see him at this party.
You've done that before, Nick.
Something we got to talk about, Nick?
We don't have enough time in the show to go through all those problems that I'm dealing with, but this is one of those things that everybody knew he had to clear. It was the emotional hurdle, and it goes to Jacoby and what he meant about Ben knowing that he had to kind of go through it. And the Nets knew that if he sat on the bench and he was there with Patty Mills, guys, the whole time, Patty Mills working as the older brother saying, I've got your back. He warmed up with him before the game. He listened to the Philly fans say a whole bunch of mean stuff to him, but he got through it. And so the hope is now that he got through it, once he gets healthy enough to play, he'll be ready to roll when the time comes and they have to go back and play him again.
He got through it, and the Nets got a big victory, and they had their teammates back. And for those who maybe missed that big game on Thursday, let's relive that moment right now.
To say there's bad blood, that's an understatement.
Float like a butterfly, sting like a bee.
First quarter has come to the close, and the Nets drop 40 on Philly. Brooklyn has been devastatingly good tonight.
It was very quiet towards the end. There was more Nets fans in here than anything.
It's hard for you to chant at Ben Simmons when you lose him by that much.
That is a statement right there. It's hard to keep screaming at Ben Simmons when you're losing by that much, okay? So that game right there, Jacoby, you got us excited. That felt like playoff basketball in that moment. And so let's kind of think ahead a little bit. And if there is a chance, we could very well see the Nets and the Sixers take on each other in playoff basketball, especially in that first round. Would that be the matchup to watch out for? And what would be different, you think?
Well, the Nets would have road court advantage is what we're calling it, because obviously the vax mandates, and Kyrie would be able to play in a potential Game 7 and a Game 1. And the problem is if you're the 76ers and you get yourself into the 2 seed and you have a great regular season and you make this trade and Harden contributes the way he is, guess what your reward is? You play Kyrie and Kevin Durant and potentially Ben Simmons in the first round of the playoffs. It's just the way things work, and that's why this season, especially in the Eastern Conference, the postseason as well. There's 7 teams that could win the Eastern Conference in my mind.
Megan, no team wants to see the Nets.
No.
Whether it's the Sixers or anybody else, no team wants to see them, and you're going to see in the next few weeks all these teams trying to tank away.
That number 3 spot looks good with the Cavs in the 6th spot.
It's a nice soft landing space, and the intensity of a Sixers series would be incredible. But everybody knows what's coming with Kyrie, and there's a lot of focus on whether he will or won't be able to play. The key to me is Kevin Durant is that good, and he is trying to remind everybody, I'm here, I'm back, and when we get in the playoffs, I'll be ready to take it up to a completely different level, as he showed the other night in Philadelphia.
Yeah, Kevin Durant is back. We haven't got a chance to see KD and Kyrie on the court at the same time together that often, but when they are out there on the court at the same time, they're absolutely phenomenal. And a guy I want to give a shout out to, Seth Curry.
Good point.
Really quickly, why do you think it's been such a perfect match for Seth Curry to get into this offense?
Well, without Joe Harris, and when you watch this team, you say, you know what they need? They need a little depth in the front court, and they need some three-point shooting. And we have so much focus on this trade on Ben Simmons. When's he going to come back? Guess what they got with Andre Drummond and Seth Curry? Depth in the front court and three-point shooting. And Seth Curry brings so much more than just a dead-eye shooter that he is. He can attack the rim. He can play make. He's been a great addition. Those two have been low-key like the story of the Nets in this trade.
The interesting part to me in talking to Seth is that he said when the trade went down, he started texting Steph about what it was like to play with KD. So he knew him before personally because he had gone to so many Warriors games and watched him for so many years. But once he got out there, he was like, yep, it's pretty awesome. And the space he's got to create is only going to grow once he starts playing more with Kyrie and once Ben Simmons does come back. So Seth has been great in the role that he's been in. and that confidence that he has and he's given this team is only going to keep manifesting itself as the playoffs roll on.
I wonder how his father-in-law, Doc Rivers, feels about that whole family connection and Steph giving him help. I don't know how that works out. Right, that family texting.
A lot of dynamics
with the Rivers Curry family.
Yeah, okay, let's go out into the Western Conference now, okay? And talk about a team that's true and near and dear to my heart, and that is the Memphis Grizzlies. As a Memphian, as a host and contributor for their... Yes, I'm born and raised there.
Oh, I didn't know
you didn't see the Southern blood?
I didn't know that was the term.
Barbecue. You don't smell it? Barbecue is my perfume. Barbecue sauce is my perfume. But look, in the West, a lot of people are talking about the PGs, and that's John Morant versus Luka Doncic. When you look at the Mavericks and the Grizzlies, the two PGs that we always want to compare everyone to is Luka versus Ja. What excites you, and why do you want to see that matchup?
Because what Luka and Ja do for their team is everything. I mean, Ja has had a huge star turn this season, only to be seconded by Meghan in Memphis as a star on camera. But Luka and Ja are the beginning, middle, and end of their team. They have the ball in their hands. They make everything go, which is why I want to see these two go head-to-head in the playoff series.
When you think about what that series could be, the word that comes to my mind is fun. Watching those guys run up and down the floor and lead their teams has been unbelievable because they know how good they are, and they make everybody else around them feel like, we can do it right now. And the cool part, Meghan, you watch them all the time in Memphis. They play with no fear. That is a young team that has an identity already that goes beyond John Morant, but they know how good they can be, especially on the defensive end. It reminds me a lot, and we've got Tom Thibodeau in the building, of those Bulls teams early on with Derrick Rose. Because you had Derrick as the head of the snake, and you had everybody else behind him knowing that he could play at a high level, but everybody else fed off of what he brought, and you started to see that build year after year before the injuries caught up.
Good point.
All right, now let's still stay in the West because I know, let's predict. Let's say the Lakers do make it into the playoffs. LeBron James has been hot so far lately, and another 50-point performance night from him from the other day. If it's the Lakers and the Suns, a rematch from last year's round one, whew.
Well, the problem for the Lakers is they're not a good basketball team, and the Suns are. That's the problem. I've been holding on to my hopes that the Lakers are going to get it together at some point.
That is a take.
It was about 2 weeks ago. I was like, you know what? This team is not good at basketball. That's why they're losing. That's why they're so under 500. But the Suns getting Chris Paul back, they've been the best team in basketball all season long, and I would expect this one to go the way last year's wins.
I'm just so sick of the Lakers. I am so tired. LeBron is LeBron.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
50 points.
We can't take him for granted because nobody does that at that level over and over. I'm tired of the Lakers.
Okay.
I'm tired of talking about the Lakers. They are not good enough this year. They have proven repeatedly that when you think they're going to make a turn, they turn the wrong way, and it all breaks down. And if that series happens, it's going to be over very fast because Phoenix is that much better. And I really believe it might be their year to win the title.
Oh, spicy.
I'll take that. No, I wasn't prepared for that. That is not in the script. Okay. So you guys both don't think Lakers are even making the playoffs, or just if they get to round one, they're not getting past the Suns?
I don't think they win 2 play-in games. I don't think they do. And I've held on hope. I really thought this whole puncher's chance thing, if they got healthy, it would all come together. You don't want to play them in a 7-game series. The playoffs slow everything down. It becomes about individual matchups, and they've got the most talent. I gave that up about 3 weeks ago. They are not going to make the playoffs.
I think it's that simple. They're not good at basketball.
They can't stop anybody.
Not to a championship level.
No.
It's not going to happen for them. As much as LeBron is the man and has been great for so long, it's over.
He's going for the scoring title, though. You can tell.
He is. He definitely is doing that. All right, you guys, it's getting louder in here. The lights are dimming because that means we are just moments away, 16 minutes away from the action from live right here in Brooklyn. The Knicks and the Nets are getting ready to take on each other, and we are excited and ready for this battle. We still have so much more to come up ahead. And don't forget, the game is coming up right after this. There is Julius Randle. He's been hot as of lately. I just saw him live in action in Memphis on Friday night, and he was something else, Jacoby. I am super excited about what's going on tonight. Look, the New York Knicks, they're 3-7. And then this is going to be the third matchup between the two teams this season. The Nets came out on top in their last meeting, 111-106 win. And this is despite the Knicks leading by 28 points at one point. Knicks fans do not want to remember that would happen in February. And then the Nets have won 5 straight against New York, which is the longest winning streak by either team in the series since 2012. And with that, there's KD. Let's now welcome in Bobby Adamika to the show. Bobby, you are a Nets fan like no other. I've heard you're the founder of the BK Group. And for those who do not know, tell us about the BK Group and what they're about.
Sure. And I'm one of many very passionate Nets fans. The BK Block is a section in Barclays Center that's reserved for the most energetic, the most passionate, the loudest, and emphasis on loud fans in the whole building. So that's what we're all about. Each of us considers it our mission to, get the crowd started, and in turn fire up our players, and just get, a great atmosphere going for the hometown crowd.
So you traveled to Philly.
Yes, we did.
So what was the atmosphere like?
It was amazing. I mean, I know, given all the drama around the trade with Harden and Ben Simmons, and given all the feelings that, Philly fans have towards Ben, we knew to expect a really intense atmosphere, and we absolutely got it. From jump, they brought out AI. They had Dr. J ringing the bell, kind of a troll job given his Nets history.
Yep.
And it was super intense atmosphere. The crowd was into it. We were into it. The crowd came to boo Ben Simmons. They ended up booing their own team. Woo! And we were chanting MVP for KD down the stretch.
All right, so your BK Group is in section 114. Jacoby and I, we don't have a seat just yet. So should we come watch it in section 114?
You got a spot for us?
Pardon?
You got a spot for us in 114?
Absolutely. We're actually in section 1 now.
Oh, okay.
Front and center now. So you're welcome to hang out with us in section 1.
All right, so the Nets right now are 8th in the East. How dangerous do you think Brooklyn can be if they can stay in that spot and get into the playoffs?
I mean, yes, we're 8th. I think everybody realizes that we've had a lot of extenuating circumstances. And I think the thing is, if we can all get together, if we're all healthy, I don't think any team in the East really wants to face us in the first round. So I like our chances. A lot depends on whether or not we're going to be all healthy, all together, if Kyrie can play all the games. But, I'm a fan, so I'm hopeful.
All right, final score for tonight.
Pardon?
Final score for today. What's the final?
Final score for today, Nets 109, Knicks 98.
Oh, okay.
Agree?
All right, yeah. I think the Nets are going to score more than that. I don't know if you've watched the Knicks lately. They don't play a lot of defense.
Yeah, it's been rough for them these days.
Yes, it has.
I'm not gloating or anything. I mean,
that's gloating. That's gloating.
He's definitely gloating.
I got a sister who's a Knicks fan, so I care about her.
There's still family love. Bobby, we hope you enjoy today. I hope the Nets get a victory for you tonight.
Yeah, I hope so too. I feel confident though.
All right, thanks so much, Bobby.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you, Bobby.
Appreciate it.
We appreciate it. All right, Jacoby, I've talked about it earlier. You got a chance to catch up with Andre Drummond and talk about what he's rocking, where he's living, and also what the transition has been like for him moving to Brooklyn. Take a listen.
Very important question. Do you own a pair of Timberlands?
Of course. I have to. I have some butters.
They wouldn't let you in Brooklyn if you didn't have a pair of Timbs.
Never. I had to get some immediately. I already had some. I had to get some fresh ones.
By Drummond, denied by Drummond. Look out below. Andre's the Giant.
How's the transition been so far?
Man, the transition's been incredible. These guys have been great. Just the patience that they've had with me to get adjusted to everybody has been incredible. And we're starting to get guys back, so it's been really fun for me.
How have you sort of getting into the Brooklyn habitat? Where are you living? Where are you eating? How are you adjusting?
I think that's been the biggest adjustment so far is figuring out where to go. Living-wise, I found an apartment, so I'm getting ready to move in today. And eating-wise, I try to eat at the facility and try to eat clean as possible. I'm on a mission right now.
I hate moving. Do you have movers? Do you have all your stuff here? How's it work?
No, actually, me and my three best friends, we just packed the house up and threw it in the U-Haul. Drove out here. Philadelphia's only an hour and 30 minutes away, so we made an event out of it. It was a fun day for us.
First of all, I would never help my friends move. You got some good friends. That is not fun. You're rich, dog. Why don't you get movers?
I like doing that stuff like that. It brings us together, gives us something to laugh about. It's always fun when we're together.
We have to talk about Thursday night.
To say there's bad blood, that's an understatement.
Tell me about just the atmosphere pregame.
Just the atmosphere, man. It felt like we was at the Rucker or Dykeman. It just felt like everybody was on top of you. I mean, it was crazy. I've been a part of a lot of high-profile games, but that was probably one of the craziest games I've been a part of. Just the way that it turned out for us on our end, and just the atmosphere in Philadelphia was electric.
There's a potential for a Sixers-Nets series. Is that something that you're looking forward to?
Whoever it may be, we're going to try to beat them.
So much focus of this trade has been on Ben and James, but you and Seth in particular have made an immediate impact. What do you think it is about you two that fits in with this core so well?
I think just our style of play fits with this team very well. What they were missing, they were missing another shooter after losing James, and a big that can guard 1 through 5. So, with myself and just being here, and they helped us really well just get adjusted, and it was great.
So you were backing up Joel Embiid when you were in Philly, and now you're starting here for the Nets. How does that feel when you approach the game?
It's good. I've been a starter through my whole career, so just going back into that position again is, something that I've longed for, and I'm excited to have that position again to help a team win.
You've played with some great duos. LeBron and AD come to mind, Tobias and Joel Embiid. What is it like sharing the court with Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant?
For me, it's crazy because just seeing those guys from afar and playing against them my whole career and just seeing what kind of talent they are, and to have the chance to play with them now. Just seeing them on a day-to-day basis, you build a whole new respect for those guys, for what they do to become the players that they are. And for me, it's amazing to watch and be a part of.
So you're playing the Knicks today. Now, this has traditionally been a Knicks town, but the Nets, obviously, the stars, the success, the Knicks aren't having a great season. How do you feel about this cross-river rivalry?
I really haven't got a full taste of it yet, but, so far it's been a lot of back and forth between the Knicks and Nets and just the fan base out here. So I look forward to playing them and getting a win.
You went to UConn. They got bounced from the Big East tournament. Are you looking forward to watching them in the tournament?
Yeah, they've had a great year so far. Dan's done a great job with those guys, and hopefully they do good in the tournament and do better than what I did, at least.
Do you own a pair of Timberlands?
Of course. I have to. I have some butters.
What color?
Wheat.
That's the only color. That's the only color that's allowed. They wouldn't let you in Brooklyn if you didn't have a pair of Timbs, right?
Never. I had to get some immediately. I already had some. I had to get some fresh ones.
Do you have a barber in New York?
Sort of.
You fly someone in?
Yeah. Yeah. I haven't found a barber in New York yet, but I'm sure I'll get plenty of requests, so I'll check some people out.
Who's the funniest person on the Nets?
I don't know. It's probably Kev. Kev for sure. But just silently, though, you just got to be around him to really see what kind of stuff he does. But him, Blake, myself, yeah, that's probably it.
Good luck moving into your apartment. I hate moving. Make sure you put stuff on the walls. That's one thing that no one ever does. Put stuff on the walls and make it feel like a home. And if you need some help moving, I'd be happy to Venmo you some money because I'm not helping you move. Good luck against the Knicks today.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Everybody in the world wants the Knicks to be great. Where do they go from here?
Trash! Horrible! I'm so done with this team!
When you get into where we are, we got to fight. It's our only option.
Oh, the Nets, they can still do it.
Can they get hot at the right time? I believe so.
That's the opportunity here. Win, lose, or draw to show the resolve.
End of the day, we're looking to go out there and hoop.
That it's time to get to the main attraction, Knicks and the Nets, back here on Hoop Stream's Meghan, Jacoby, Nick. Let's talk about today's games. It's afternoon. It's not even nighttime yet. It feels like it.
It feels like
right?
it, though,
It does.
right? New York usually has like a sleepy 1 o'clock crowd, but this feels energetic. It does feel like a night game. This is exciting.
And look, we're coming off of daylight savings time. We lost an hour. I can't think of a better way to wake you up than watching this showdown between the Nets and the Knicks. Let's talk about the Nets, this new look Nets team. What has impressed you the most about how they've been able to come together and get some big wins and during this winning streak?
They know that their time is coming to prove everybody wrong in the next few weeks. And Meghan, they feel like so many people have already said, it's not going to happen for them, and they lost 17-20. And they're hearing all of it, and they're remembering it. And I think what's been impressive is Steve Nash and the players have kind of closed ranks, and they've said, for all the faults that this team has had and all the ups and downs they've dealt with, they still believe there's another level they can hit, and they're keeping a positivity in that a lot of teams wouldn't have, because they already would have folded for the season and started 1-2-3 Cancun as the last weeks piled up.
It's a good point. I mean, you think about the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference, like the Orlando Magic come to mind. They've sort of been like these 5-game series, maybe win one. But this year, the 8th seed in the Eastern Conference could have a healthy Ben Simmons, a healthy Kyrie Irving, and a healthy Kevin Durant. Like, this is wild. This is why this season, particularly this conference, is so exciting as we get to the end of it.
Jacoby, the key word there, you said could have, because we haven't seen them all three out there on the court just yet. As we wait for Ben Simmons to have his return and play for Brooklyn, when you look at this group, are they better without James Harden, or is it too soon to say?
Well, one thing I will say is it's hard to say a team is better without James Harden, but one thing that I've seen in these few games is Seth Curry and Andre Drummond. They're not just, also in the trade guys. They're really contributing, and they are needed exactly what the Nets needed. So maybe one day we'll see them all together. It seems like we've been saying that for 3 years, but maybe this year we'll see them as we get into the playoffs.
There's always hope in Brooklyn. That's what they have to hold on to, because they haven't seen it in reality a lot. But Meghan, I think it may be a little too early to make that call, but the Nets definitely feel that Ben Simmons' strengths fill up the weaknesses that they have. And while Harden is an incredible scorer, they just want Ben Simmons to focus on what he does well.
Exactly.
Defense, perimeter, moving up and down, getting everybody else shots, getting to the rim. They don't want him to worry about shooting, because their point to him is, we have KD, we have Kyrie, we have Seth Curry. We've got guys that can take care of that. We just want you to focus on what you do at your best, and the rest will take care of itself.
That's a good point. I mean, we haven't seen Ben Simmons in so long. I think that we've forgotten just how good he is at defense. He was the second in voting in Defensive Player of the Year just last year. How good he is in transition, and what a natural playmaker he is with the ball. Like, he's a natural passer. We even saw that at LSU. Like, he's got exactly what they need. And it's like, Ben Simmons doesn't shoot that much. Well, guess what? Someone tells me Kyrie Irving and KD can shoot enough. Yeah.
And add Seth Curry into that mix, they have enough shooters. They do. But we got to talk about Kyrie, because we know we're waiting for Ben. Kyrie, as we wait to figure out what happens with this whole mandate situation, we know Kyrie is going to be in the building. He's here somewhere, right?
Just look for the
Kyrie!
Jacoby's going to be looking out for him, okay?
Where are you?
But let's just say, what if we cannot see Kyrie full-time and playing? If it's the Nets and the Raptors, he can't play in Toronto as of right now.
Good point.
Does that change things of your prediction of how the Nets, how well they can be?
The Nets cannot win a title with Kyrie as a part-time player.
Really?
I don't believe it. As great as they might be with Kevin, he gives them that different element, but he would have to play in every game, in my opinion. Now, Meghan, can they win one play-in game if they're the 7 or 8 seed, even if they don't have him here still and potentially wouldn't have him in Toronto? I think they can, because I believe in Kevin Durant that much. But all the way through, they need him. The strangest part about this situation, Mr. Jacoby, is Kyrie can be in here for the first time all year today. But even the Nets personnel, as I was walking out to come talk to you guys, they don't know exactly where he's going to sit.
So he can't sit on the bench.
They don't think so. Like, the mandate is so strange in how it's perceived that even the people in the middle of it aren't sure exactly which way it goes, but they know that Kyrie will be here. And I think it's a good move, guys, honestly, because they're going to cut away to him.
Oh, yeah, the camera's going to find him
the whole game. And it's going to get this back and forth with the city in full effect with how come he can go sit on the floor, potentially courtside, but he can't play in the game.
Both Kyrie and me don't have a ticket, but we're here.
You're the same boat as Kyrie.
Exactly.
Wow,
exactly.
Crazy, right? So either the camera's going to find Kyrie first, or Jacoby's going to be looking for him and running around looking for him.
Look, I haven't seen him yet, but we'll find him.
All right, you start looking, and no basketball game is good or complete without good food. And I'm excited about our next segment, because let's just showcase some of the food that we have here.
Well, first of all, we got to showcase Joe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Look, I needed a necklace, and I said, can I borrow one of yours?
We got a little falafel here. Oh, look.
Yes, okay, so.
Empanadas.
Look, we're going to pass this around here.
Yeah, I'm going.
Take a bite. We're definitely eating right now. So this is a shout out to the Nets concession stand. This is from Brooklyn Market, and this is something that the Nets are really, really passionate about. They give back to local places, and they also want to make sure that they have diverse food, and then you have everything. Look at this. How is it?
Good. Wow.
Okay.
There's a lot of flavor in this.
Okay, I'm not going to eat because I feel like I'm going to embarrass myself. I'm from Memphis. I told you guys. My mom is watching. My grandma's watching.
I don't eat vegetables in Memphis.
My mom and grandma are watching, and they're going, don't eat that.
Don't eat that. I thought about it. I'm really hungry.
So.
I can't be one and done on Hoops.
But I love you.
That would be bad. That would be bad. All right, we got to get you straight to the Nets and the Knicks. Tune in right now on the ESPN app and on ABC. We'll see you later.